What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Little Scale Cars YouTube channel. First and foremost, apologies for my funny sounding voice right now. I am still getting over a sinus infection, which is also why there hasn't been a video for a minute. But let's get that out of the way, and let's talk about this model. This is the Apollo IE. This one is diecast, and it is from Pico and TPC Models, a little collaboration between the two. But let's take a closer look at this one and see if it's any good and worth adding to your collections. So as always, let's kick things off with our casting. So taking a quick look at our proportions and everything, you can see that they are very nice. So the way that this collaboration works, as far as I know, since Pico is known for their 1/64th scale, they're known for resin models, not necessarily for their 1/64th scale stuff, but they do 1/64 scale, and they have done the Apollo IE in resin. I believe, though, that TPC and Pico, TPC used the 3D modeling data that Pico had, and then just made it in diecast instead of resin. I believe that's how this collaboration works, because these two, the Pico and the TPC, are exactly like everything is the same proportion-wise. Every little detail is there. Just one is diecast and one is resin. So that being said, what is the actual die-cast pieces? Basically, anything you're going to see here in orange, that is going to be die-cast, and it's going to be very nice. Even the rear wing section, this like giant chunk of that is all going to be metal itself, so that's cool. And then we have all these like support structures and everything. That is going to be a hard plastic. The shark fin, whatever you want to call this is a piece of plastic. Mirrors are plastic as well. These little bits here are casted in. These little shut-off things are very nice. They are a piece of the base as far as I can tell, and they are metal. Because the base is metal, which is very nice, gives it a very hefty feel. So you can see there's even detailing like arrow bits detailed in here on the bottom of the base. Diffuser is absolutely massive and very nicely detailed. And then working your way up front, the splitter, again, very nicely detailed, incorporated nicely. This thing is phenomenal. Yeah, as far as our casting goes, that's about all we've got. I think these parts right here are going to be plastic as well. So a healthy integration between the plastic and the metal parts. So, Paint and Deco, this is the initial release. It came with the kind of dragon version, which is also orange and just has stripes. That is a real-life deco. As far as I know, there are no plain orange ones like this in real life. However, I just thought that this looked so good, and I think it kind of pays homage to the original Apollo Aero concept that this car was based off of. I just thought it looked so good, though. And as of right now, these two are actually the only ones available. There is a pink one and a pink, basically dragon striped version coming, but they have not released yet. And with as slow as these things have been to release, it's probably going to be a while before that one actually releases. Moving into our details, starting up front, you can see that all of these kind of like intake things are nicely detailed, and the meshing is there and looking really good. It's just really tough for me to get it on camera. We do have headlights, however, they are just kind of painted on. They're casted in there and then painted there, but there's no plastic insert or anything like that that you're kind of used to seeing. It's a little disappointing, but really, with how small these headlights are, I don't see a better way to have done it. We do get an Apollo logo right there, looking really nice. Again, all this stuff is there in carbon fiber. The splitter has all got carbon fiber printing. It looks great. The interior, it is tough to see with how this car is designed, but it is nicely detailed inside there. We get this windshield wiper, which looks good. Making your way down the sides here very gently. We do have these nice mirrors. They do have the little mirror stickers or something that makes them reflective. Our wheels, accurate wheels, which is really cool to see. And then they do have the rotors and calipers behind them. So very, very nice. Making your way down the side, this intake here, again, has meshing on it. Looks really good. Making our way to the very back here. First off, the detailing level on this diffuser is incredible. Like, this thing's wild with the gaps and the spaces and the accuracy there. It looks great. We do have plastic inserts for the taillights, which looks really good. And then we have a little plastic insert for the exhaust as well. I'm sure you can see it kind of shining there, looking really, really good. And then again, all that kind of carbon fiber work where you'd want to see it, all along the shark fin in this little back section here. Just absolutely jam-packed with the details. Moving into our roll test. This might be the first TPC model that any of you have, but I am happy to report it does roll. It doesn't roll like super well, like not like a mini GT, but as you could see there, all 4 wheels can turn, and they can turn fairly easily. I went ahead and put this one on the scale, and it came out to be 55.93 grams, so it has some serious heft to it, some very nice weight. Pros and cons. So the biggest pro with this one is going to be that level of detail and the carbon fiber work that's incorporated. This thing is jam-packed with details, really not missing out on anything that you could possibly want at this scale. The second big pro is that paint job. I just think it was done so well. The metallic-y, not really metallic-y, the enamel orange just looks so good. The striped version as well, I don't have that one, but I have been so tempted to pick it up as well just because it looks phenomenal from pictures I have seen. So overall, just a really, really nice, well put together model. Cons, though, there is one that we definitely need to mention, and that is going to be that it is extremely fragile. Now, it's probably not super surprising to you, seeing how all these little arrow bits and everything. However, it was the mirror for me that popped off. So I think it was this driver's side. Yep, it was the driver's side mirror here. You can probably see that there's a touch of glue on it right now because I had to glue it back on. And actually, that was when I was beginning to film for this video. I just kind of touched the mirror a little bit rougher than I should have, I guess. Not particularly rough, honestly, though. And it did pop off, and it popped off very easily. So be extremely careful with these because they are very fragile. Moving into some size comparisons, here we have it with some budget brands that you might have in your collection, with the Hot Wheels Bugatti Bolide and the Tomica Ferrari SF90. And here we have it with some other premium orange supercars, with the McLaren Senna GTR from LCD Model, and the Pagani Zonda Revoluzione from Tarmac Works. So let's find an overall score for this one. The hype level for me was about a 9.6 out of 10. This is one that I was very excited for, and it kept getting delayed too, which kind of just made me more and more antsy to get it. But yeah, I'm going to give it a 9.6 because I was extremely excited for this, and I think anyone who's a fan of this car was also pretty excited for it. Execution, I'm going to give it a 9.7 out of 10. The only kind of downside is that fragile factor, because like I mentioned, I snapped a mirror off, and I could definitely see bits and pieces of the wing coming off if you're not like super duper careful with it. Feedback on this one, I am going to give it a 9.75. I have not really seen any complaints from anyone who owns this, so nothing that I can really say would be negative. However, there are a few little small things that I have seen people mentioning. They're not really complaining about it, but they have mentioned it, so 9.75. When we take these three scores, we add them up and average them out, we are going to end up with a final score of 9.68 out of 10, which is really, really good. It's going to be a great little score there for an absolutely fantastic model. Just be careful with it, and I don't think you'll have any issues. Like, this thing is great. It is so nicely detailed. It is a little bit pricey. It's about 30 bucks, but I think it's definitely worth it. Like, the level of detail and the fact that it's metal on metal, like, everything just really culminates to a fantastic model. If you are a big fan of the Apollo IE, I think that this is, as of right now, the best way to get this car in your collection. It's not the cheapest way to get it in your collection, but I think it is the best, most highly detailed version of the casting or car that's out there right now. And with that, guys, that is all I have for this particular video. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you leave a like, subscribe if you are new, and don't forget to leave a comment telling me what your thoughts are on this particular model, and I will see you in the next video.